we've seen most of the set, this card still remains to be the most interesting and powerful one out there. So, Jace Reawakened is 2 blue for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker Jace. With the static, you can cast a spell during your first, second, or third turn of the game. He has a +1. Draw a card, then discard a card. Another +1. You may exile a non-land card with mana 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. And then a -6 until end of turn. Whenever you cast a spell, copy it. You may choose a new target for the copy. The static ability is tragic, but if it wasn't there, this card would be banned in Modern for sure. It really nerfs it because it is completely unplayable for the first 3 turns. And for a 2-mana Planeswalker, that really sucks because you want to get a 2-mana Planeswalker as fast as possible so you can keep on tempo. But once you do get to turn 4, this is incredibly efficient for 2 mana. And if you've been hitting your lands, you'll have 2 extra mana that you can use to protect him. I like the fact that both of his first abilities are +1, so no matter what you're doing, you are building loyalty to that ult. So the first +1 is decent. It's honestly there just to be there when you can't use the second one, but a draw discard is pretty good when you need the card advantage. There's a ton of decks that care about discarding in cards, and this is a really good outlet. Now his +1 is really where this card is absurd. On turn 4, you can play this +1 and exile a 3 mana card that you can play for free at sorcery speed. So on the next turn, you've already made more mana than you've cast them, and you have a 4 loyalty Planeswalk. The sad thing is that you can't really hit counterspells because you can only play the card back at sorcery speed, so counterspells do nothing. But if you can protect this guy and consistently use his second ability every turn to ramp you a ton, you'll have all the mana for card draw to make sure you have a target for this ability. This is a mono blue card, so there's generally restrictions on what you can target, only being instants or sorcery. But this hits any non-land card, which is also absurd. Now, the really busted stuff it can do is hit a Valky God of Lies. So this card is 2 mana, but once you plot it, you can play for its backside, which is 7 mana. That is absurd. Even if your Jace gets killed immediately, the amount of ramp he did for your next turn is absurd. In Standard, it can hit Bramble Familiar and then cast the Fetch Quest, which is also insane. It can hit the Suspend spells, so Crashing Footfalls and Living End. The problem with this is that this will always be, at earliest, a turn 5 play. So sure, it is crazy ramp, and it is insane, but it is pretty late in the game, which is what control decks want to do so bad, so I think it's going to fit right in there. Now, his ult is also really important. You get up there really fast, and it can be absolutely game winning because the second +1 puts a bunch of cards that you can cast at any point, so you can save them up for the +6 and then cast them, and they're doubled, which is absurd. But you'll also have a ton of mana open, so you have the opportunity to 100% take advantage of this ult. It really sucks that you can't play him for the first 3 turns, making him a lot worse the more fast the meta is. So for Modern, I don't think this will break the format. I think this will be a 1 of or 2 of in some control decks, and it will kick ass there. It can also be a Valky combo deck, which could be really awesome too. But in Standard and Pioneer, I think this card will be absolutely insane. Not only for its combos, but it's just how efficient it is for 2 mana. So I really wouldn't forget this card when the new cards come out, because it will be absolutely insanely powerful and so unique. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and have a good one.